Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. I am Reverend Penni Honey. As always, it is our joy to have you join us here on our YouTube channel at youtube.unityofflagstaff.org. You know, everything you want to know about the ministry can be found on our website, www.unityofflagstaff.org. It'd be a really great way to be able to skip right through these announcements because it's all right there on that website. Not that I want you to skip anything on these messages, but you can find everything you need to know and what's happening here in our ministry on that website. Things like this. This, of course, is our Unity Nourish Your Body, Feed Your Soul recipe book. Check it out on that website at www.unityofflagstaff.org. That's where you can download it. We appreciate a donation of $20 or more, however you're inspired. These are recipes from our community, from our potlucks that we have had the opportunity and the pleasure of having through the years. Check that out, won't you? And on Sunday, April 18th, is our annual meeting. Of course, it's via Zoom. We want you to zoom in and celebrate with us all the things that this ministry has accomplished in the past year. And it's been quite a year. So why don't you come check that out at 11 o'clock. The link again is on the website at www.unityofflagstaff.org. And so now I invite you into a moment of quiet. Let's move into prayer. Let's center our hearts and our minds and celebrate the opportunity and this connection. So we give thanks. We give thanks in this moment. And for each moment that has gone before to bring us right here, connected and in our oneness. We say thank you, Spirit. We open our hearts and we open our minds that we might know and align with that oneness and that expression of God through us. We give thanks for these things and so many more. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Thank you for joining us for this moment of meditation. So I invite you now into the space that you're in and to rest. We acknowledge our oneness and our connection to all that is. And we give thanks for that in this time. And we breathe into this moment, where we truly open ourselves to the consciousness of heavenly thoughts. So we allow that white, beautiful light that is all around us all the time to be recognized at a cellular level. And we take that in. And our bodies receive with gladness and joy the opportunity to connect once again at a deeper level. So we breathe the healing light of Spirit. We allow that light to permeate our thoughts, our emotions. We recognize the busyness of our own minds. And we allow the calming and the disconnect to that busyness in this moment as we reconnect with that place of light and healing, joy, understanding, and of peace. And we breathe as we see ourselves surrounded and pulling that heavenly light into this present moment. peace here now. And we affirm this through our breath. We acknowledge this through the quieting of our hearts and the focusing of our minds. And again, we breathe in that healing light. We feel its warmth. We feel ourselves embraced in the oneness of the universe. And we know ourselves to be aligned with all that is, our greatest expression, with all that is the perfect presence right here, right now. And we breathe. And in those places of darkness or sadness, in those places where we have forgotten our own divinity, we see this healing light enfolding us and holding us. And we breathe that comfort and that safety in. And we feel the transformation of our minds and the renewing of our bodies. It is in this moment that we allow the music to wash through and over us, seeing it as the very light, the healing light, the comforting light. As we come back into this consciousness of this physical space and time, we feel the healing. And we bring that healing into our hearts as we affirm and know this for all living beings. Say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. As we allow the expression of heaven here on earth through us, as us. And we affirm it as so. And so it is. Namaste, my friends. And now enjoy the music of Wiley Beveridge.
Changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me, who am I am wisdom, I am light, I am more than meets the eye, I cannot be defined, 'cause I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts, I have the power to change my life. If you ask me what I I am beauty, I am joy, I am more that meets the eye. I cannot be defined, 'cause I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I can choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. Oh, I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes the things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
I am the thinker that thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am wisdom. I am light. I cannot be defined. I do not believe in hell, devil, or damnation, or in any future state of punishment. God does not punish people. Heaven and hell are states of consciousness in which we now live according to our own state of being. Ernest Holmes. Get the hell out of the way. Well, I stirred a few people up with that talk title. I believe the word crass was a word that was used. I would agree. Little shocked was another reaction. Mission accomplished. You know, sometimes, I don't know about you, but I need to be shocked. Sometimes I need to open myself to the rawness and to the crassness of the world. Sometimes. Now, I am not promoting those as standard behaviors. However, here we are. And I appreciate you in giving me just the leeway to be the expression that I am. Thank you. Now, as a disclaimer, get the hell out of the way is the invitation to do exactly that. To remove the hell from your life. Now, I know here in Unity we don't teach hell and heaven as is traditionally considered. However, what this invitation is that we can in fact move the hell out of the way. You know, it's interesting because in New Thought, the definitions of heaven and hell. Heaven is a state of consciousness. Hell is a state of consciousness. Easy enough, right? Just do a little tweak here, a little tweak there. Voila! I'll be out of this hellish way of thinking. Well, yeah, it is kinda that easy. Well, actually it's that simple, as they say. Not quite that easy. We have to change our thoughts about those thoughts that we have regarding the things we create, the hell that we're experiencing, the heaven that we're experiencing. We have to notice the consciousness that is behind those thoughts that have caused us to move to those dark places that we can call hell. And just when you thought it would be simple. You know, perhaps it's that age-old practice of self-sabotage. Maybe it's just not seeing yourself as worthy. It can take us to a place of hell, can't it? I know it does in my world. And what about some of those new habits that we've picked up in this past year and a half? You know, isolation can do crazy things to our thinking, can't it? How about those thoughts of fear that are still lingering? And I'm not saying we shouldn't have them or that they're not real, but we do have the power as the thinker to create those hellish moments and those hellish thoughts in our lives. It's pretty empowering when you consider it that way. At least for me, I notice. How about those feelings of sadness or loneliness, hopelessness? Or how about that feeling that I'd just as soon stay in isolation? All those habits have had the opportunity to grow in this environment that we've been in. Those feelings of guilt, how about that? Guilty because why has it been so easy for me? It's one that I adopted for a while. Why has God been so good to me? I think that goes back to that worthiness thing. Anyone? Anyone create these kind of hellish moments in your life? I know I do. And I'm certain that I'm not alone in that. Take a moment to consider where you might be creating that in your life. Maybe it's just a little hell. You haven't really pitched camp there yet. But, those little places, it's just dark and difficult, dramatic, sometimes traumatic. Those mini hells can also be housed in unforgiveness, disappointment. It loves to host hell. A lot of disappointments do. Ernest Holmes again says this: one does not have to die in order to go to hell any more than one has to die to go to heaven. Both are states of mind and conditions which people experience as a direct outworking of their thoughts, their beliefs, their words, and their actions. If one's mental processes, Ernest Holmes reminds us, are out of harmony with the law of man's being, then they will result in trouble and sorrow, mental as well as bodily, and anguish overtakes one, and we create hell. Now, some would say that we're coming out of hell after this last year and a half or more. And there are many, many days that I would have agreed with that. However, consider this. If we blame being in hell on the external events, it seems to me that in that moment, we give away our power. We give away the power of being able to make every day better. Or at least that given situation better. It's that co-creating thing. I agree, there have been some days that have felt like that, not just in the last year and a half, but throughout my life, right? There have been conditions in my life that certainly could have been described as hell, but I still had a choice. And looking back on those things, when I remember that I still had a choice, I can find power. I can find my power. I can think my thoughts. Did I adopt mental processes in those moments that were out of harmony with the law of my being? That law that says I'm a divine child of God? That law that says I am one with the mind of the divine? Those laws that say that I am made in the image and likeness of God. Those laws? The law that I am one with the universe. Did I adopt mental processes that just were not in harmony with that? I'm guessing yes. Actually, I know the answer to that is yes. Oh, I can tell you many times. Hell. Yes, I chose hell. Now here's a little story about myself that just happened this week. And that's what I love about these teachings. When you're teaching something, you always get the opportunity to look at it. So we had a board meeting. And in this board meeting, with our astute and our amazing leadership, I sat. Well, via Zoom I sat. And the conversation about in-person services came up. And to my surprise, I heard myself start making a whole list of reasons and things that we had to watch out for. And those reasons swung from, I don't know if people are even going to show up, to it's a lot of work to reboot. And I just heard myself building this little mini hell. And it continued to grow. And I realized I was not being articulate. I'm sure the board members were shaking their heads, if not rolling their eyes, as I built my own little mini hell in that moment. And then, in my meditation, that same evening, I realized that the hell that I had been building, that consciousness of separation from my divine self, was because I was scared. I was scared about the safety and the health of the members of this community. I mean, what if someone got sick on my watch? That was really what was going on. So I created my own little hell around that. And it made me indecisive. It made me inarticulate. I was allowing the external events that hadn't even happened yet. Ever do that? I was allowing the external events to create a small hellish experience right there in the safety of the church office, surrounded by people that love and support me. Now, if I can create a hellish moment in that environment, it comes as no surprise to me that I can do that relatively easily in those more dramatic or traumatic times in my life. So I gave myself a little grace. It was kind of weird when I discovered what it actually was. In the safest of places, I managed to create fear and concern. How about this? We create with our very own thoughts those places, and then we start to make decisions based on those places of fear, those hellish places of fear. We make decisions based on those thoughts, and away we go. And guess what? Then we do set up camp right inside the very gates of hell. And heaven was right there, surrounded by the brilliance and the creativity of the leadership of this community. Heaven was right there. I could have just as easily created a moment of heaven. I could have created a moment that we started co-creating with God and all those godlike folks that were around me. We could have co-created the reality through thoughts held in mind, as we teach in our principle number 3, and we could have created this heavenly experience. Okay, Penni, stop defining God that way in those dark moments. Allow God to be divine in that moment, and every one of them that you possibly can, and you will get the hell out of the way. Eckhart Tolle reminds us this, that we live in a spiritual universe now, that we are spiritual beings now, that the kingdom of heaven is at hand now, that spiritual humankind is perfect now, and that the mind of God and the energy of the universe is available to us now. is at hand now. But in my little hell in that moment, all of my fear and all of my love even for the people of this community, all my concern and all my worry came to bear, and I created it into something other than a heavenly moment. I could have taken all that fear and all that love and asked this question: what could I think right now instead of this? What could I do or think right now to create a consciousness of heaven that would co-create something that was just better? And how would I show up in the world were I to ask that question each time I found myself moving into those hellish places? What could I think right now instead? There is a depth and meaning to your own being, Charles Fillmore tells us. If you can discover it, it will answer your own questions. I am the thinker that thinks the thought. We get to choose. We get to choose who we want to be once we claim and own the power of our own thoughts. We can create heaven right here, right now. In fact, it's already here. We don't even have to create it. We just have to notice it. We have to realize it and align our thoughts. It's right here. It's right here. Heaven is right here now. You know, I had another thought when I was sitting and thinking through this message. Heaven is not only eternal, but it's internal. And so is hell. What thoughts could I choose to create the consciousness of heaven right now? Ralph Waldo Emerson said this, that I must have faith and confidence in my own interpretation of the universe and my relation to it. Consider this method before you go to sleep at night. Just try this for a week. Ask this question: what do I want my first thought to be tomorrow? Just try it. I suggest choosing a consciousness of heaven. What could I think instead of this? What do I want my first thought to be when I awake? Better and better every day. That's what we have the power to be through our own thoughts. I am the thinker, and I'm thinking better and better every day. Thank you, my friends. Namaste. And now another original song by Matt Devlin entitled Better. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Matt Devlin with a song that I wrote with my friend Randy Brown a couple years ago. The song is about making a choice every day to get a little bit better. A song called Better. There's a clock on the wall doing what it does. It ain't slowing down and it ain't giving up. It don't discriminate, no, it treats us all the same. And the only guarantee is everything will change. So choose what you choose and get better, better, better every day. It's a a choice that you made. And do what you do and get better, better, better every day. When you give your love away, gets better every day. Well, there's a clock on the wall. I've already sang that verse. Let me try another one. There's a voice in our heads talking all the time, and it's telling us to dream, and it's telling us to shine. And this living day to day, life can test your faith, but if you believe in yourself, this world's a better place. So do what you do and get better, better every day. It's a choice that you made. And do what you do and get better and better, better every day. When you give your love away, it gets better every day. Well, it's not what you did the last time around. If you're standing still, you're losing ground. So do what you do. Let's get better and better, better every day. When you give your love away, it gets better every day. Now I know you're sitting there thinking, I got a choice to make. Should I turn this guy off? Don't do that. Don't touch that dial. Or you're thinking, I could just sit here and listen. Or maybe you could jump up and you could join in and get better and better, better every day. It's a choice that you made. And do what you do. Let's get better and better, better every day. When you give your love away, get better and better. Let's get better every day. It's a choice that we make to get better every day. Make a good choice, everybody.
Thank you, Matt. Better and better every day. That is our prayer for you. We hold you in our consciousness and in our hearts here at Unity of Flagstaff. We appreciate your ongoing support. You can donate on the website at www.unityofflagstaff.org. There's also an opportunity there to sign up for auto tithing. As we all start flying out of here and going the places we haven't been able to go, we appreciate being remembered in your giving. Make that easy on yourself. Sign up to auto tithe. If you need any help, just contact me at the church. I can walk you through that. And of course, that number is 928-526-8893. You can also mail your contributions into our P.O. Box, P.O. Box 1740 here in beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona at 86002. And now a bonus track. How blessed are we with these amazing musicians? Enjoy, my friends, and remember, better every day. Namaste.
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing wisdom today. I'm choosing wisdom today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing wisdom today. I'm choosing strength today. I'm choosing strength today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing strength today. I'm choosing light today. I'm choosing light today. I am walking the road of light right now, singing, I'm choosing light today. I'm choosing light.